A CNN investigation published in February 2026 opened with a line that should have stopped the country cold. It read this line: 90% of new cars on American roads today are tracking your driving behavior every 3 seconds. Not every minute, every 3 seconds. Your speed, your braking, your phone use, your exact GPS coordinates. Logged, time-stamped, and transmitted to a corporate server every 3 seconds you are behind the wheel. That investigation did not make the front page. It did not trend for more than a day. And that silence is exactly the point. Today we are exposing exactly who is collecting your vehicle data, exactly who is buying it, and exactly how the federal government is preparing to use the connected vehicle infrastructure to make a decision about whether you are legally allowed to drive. And we are going to show you why the only truck that cannot be used against you is the one that was built before any of this existed. Here is the data map no manufacturer will show you at the dealership. Automotive privacy analysts who reviewed connected vehicle architecture documented that modern cars collect information from over 100 separate data points. Location and GPS history, speed and acceleration patterns, hard braking events, phone connection and usage data, voice recognition recordings, seatbelt status, passenger detection. That data can reveal the most intimate details of a person's life, including visits to medical clinics, reproductive health facilities, places of worship, and domestic violence shelters. Your truck is not tracking where you drove. It is building a permanent record of who you are based on where your vehicle has been. The manufacturers are not collecting this for engineering reasons. They are collecting it because it is worth money. Industry analysts estimate automakers pocket up to $100 per vehicle per year selling your behavioral and location data to companies like LexisNexis and Verisk. The Federal Trade Commission banned General Motors and OnStar from sharing that data for 5 years following a January 2025 enforcement action. California fined Honda $632,500 for privacy violations related to connected vehicle data. Texas launched multiple investigations into whether drivers knowingly consented to telematics programs used to raise their insurance premiums. But enforcement actions are not deletion orders. Your data was already sold before the case was filed. By 2026, an estimated 91% of new vehicles have embedded telematics transmitting data continuously. The infrastructure is built, the revenue model is running, and the confirmed buyers of that data include insurance companies, data brokers, and government agencies. Forum user DataFree 2003 F150 posted on a privacy forum last month. They wrote, "I asked my insurance company why my premium went up $800. They told me a data report showed aggressive driving patterns. I have never filed a claim. I have never had a ticket. My truck reported on me, and my insurance company used the report to take $800 a year from my pocket. The truck came with the reporting built in. I never agreed to it." You might think you can simply opt out of data sharing on a new truck. You cannot. The cellular modem operates on its own independent power circuit. It runs whether the infotainment system is on or off. Disconnecting it triggers fault codes, and in some vehicles, disables safety systems. And even if you succeed in disconnecting it, the data already transmitted is stored on manufacturer servers, with no federal law requiring them to delete it on your behalf. Now here is the development that makes everything else look minor. The federal government directed NHTSA to finalize a rule requiring driver impairment detection technology that was supposed to take effect with the 2027 model year. In March 2026, NHTSA admitted publicly that current detection technology shows what they called unacceptable error rates, particularly around the legal alcohol limit. The mandate is delayed. However, the hardware infrastructure to collect biometric data is already being installed in vehicles heading to dealerships right now. The systems under development monitor eye movement, pupil dilation, attention direction, and in some implementations, breath composition. If a future system determines you are impaired, it can prevent the vehicle from starting or bring it to a controlled stop on public roads. NHTSA's own math showed that even a 99.9% accuracy rate across hundreds of millions of vehicles would produce millions of incorrect lockouts per year. Sober drivers unable to leave a parking structure. Diabetics locked out by blood chemistry the system misreads. Drivers stranded during a wildfire evacuation because tired eyes registered as impaired eyes. However, the biometric data those systems collect, your eye movement baseline, your pupil dilation patterns, your breath chemistry profile, flows into the same corporate server ecosystem that is already selling your GPS history to insurance underwriters. A forum user named No Surveillance Truck KY wrote on a mechanics forum. They wrote that companies already know where they drive, already know how hard they brake, and now they want to scan their eyes and sample their breath every time they start the engine. They said companies want to store that biometric data on a server they will never be allowed to access, and sell it to companies they have never agreed to do business with. My 2005 Silverado does not have eyes. It does not test my breath. It starts when I turn the key. That is the only vehicle system I trust. Here is the legal dimension most drivers never see coming. Law enforcement agencies can access the telematics data stored by your vehicle's manufacturer with a subpoena or a search warrant. The 2018 Supreme Court decision in Carpenter v. United States established Fourth Amendment protections for historical location data. But that ruling requires a warrant to access the data from a carrier. It does not stop law enforcement from subpoenaing the manufacturer directly. Your manufacturer holds years of GPS history, braking patterns, acceleration events, and phone connection logs. A subpoena directed at the manufacturer does not require your consent. You will not be notified when the request is made. You will not know the data was handed over. A forum user named Privacy First No Telematics posted on a digital rights board. They said their attorney had told them something they had not considered. In a civil lawsuit, the opposing party's lawyers can subpoena their telematics data from their vehicle manufacturer without their knowledge. That means their truck's records, every hard brake, every fast acceleration, every GPS coordinate for 3 years, could be sitting on a server in Detroit, waiting for whoever files the right paperwork. Smart owners in 2026 are deliberately driving trucks made before 2015. Before always-on cellular telematics became a factory standard, a truck without an embedded cellular modem cannot transmit your location. It cannot report your braking. It cannot collect an eye movement baseline. It cannot be subpoenaed for data that does not exist. The absence of the modem is not a limitation. It is the protection. For drivers who own newer vehicles, Consumer Reports published a guide in 2025 on physically disconnecting the telematics control unit. It varies by platform, but on most GM, Ford, and Ram trucks built after 2015, the telematics control unit is accessible and can be disconnected without affecting core vehicle operation. Disconnecting it will throw a fault code. That fault code costs nothing. The data stream it terminates could cost you hundreds of dollars a year in insurance premiums. In 2026, you can still buy a truck that does not watch your eyes, does not sample your breath, does not log your GPS position every 3 seconds, and cannot be subpoenaed for records it never created. That truck exists today. It will not be in the 2027 model year lineup. Have you discovered your vehicle was transmitting data you never consented to share? Did it affect your insurance premium or appear in a legal matter? Sound off in the comments below, because your documentation is the evidence that this is not a future threat. It is the system already running. If you refuse to drive a surveillance device disguised as a truck, hit the subscribe button and join the resistance. Keep the old iron running, keep turning your own wrenches, and we will see you in the next one.